Welcome to the World Warriors of Capcom Cup Player Showcase. I'm Ultra David.
And I'm James Chen. This is the video series in which we go over all 32 qualifiers for the Capcom Cup that's going to be coming up on the weekend of December 5th through 6th at the Sony PlayStation Experience. If you guys aren't familiar with the Capcom Cup or the Capcom Pro Tour, we did record a little intro video that talks all about it, describes everything about it. You can check it out here on this YouTube channel, youtube.com/Capcom Fighters TV, to find out all the information, but we are here to talk about the players.
That's right, and the player we're going to talk about is Momochi. We're going to talk about Momochi.
Kind of a good player.
He is kind of a good player, yes. The reason we're talking about him today is that he qualified. He was the first one, in fact, to qualify. And the way he did that was by winning last year's Capcom Cup.
Yeah, so, he's pretty decent. So, he's the guy to knock off the throne right now. He is the greatest player on the planet, in terms of that tournament. And, there's another tournament that kind of qualifies for that, which is EVO. But you know what? He won that one, too.
He won that one, too. Let me give you a short list
of
his accomplishments in Ultra Street Fighter 4. Those include Southeast Asia Majors 2014 first place, CEO 2014 second place, EVO 2014 seventh place, Topanga A-League second place, Capcom Cup winner, Shadowloo Showdown first place, South by Southwest Invitational first place, Final Round 18 first place, Topanga World League second, Stunfest 2015 second, Southeast Asia Majors fifth, and EVO 2015 first.
So as much as, players in the past like Shen and Infiltration, they had the year of Infiltration, the year of Shen. A lot of people have been talking about 2015 as the year of Momochi, obviously from some of those credentials that you see there. He started the year off very strong. In fact, a lot of people were even wondering how he was even going to lose. Yeah. People were expecting him to win every tournament. Hasn't quite gone that way, but as you can see, it's pretty dang close.
He did a pretty good job of that. Yeah. I would really say that at the end of last year, he came on as being one of the best. Obviously, he's been around for a long time, but he really showed that again. And he has been absolutely dominant when it comes to these big moments.
Yeah. And so, obviously, at EVO, for example, 2,200 players, Capcom Cup, or 2,200 plus players.
Yeah.
Last year, Capcom Cup, year culmination. What, in your opinion, is it that makes Momochi such a strong player?
You know what? He has so many things going for him. He really does. I feel like his footsie game, his control and understanding of the mid-range play is just one of the best.
Okay.
It's one of the best. I really feel that you can see the influence of when he was a top Street Fighter 3 Third Strike player. A game that had a very complex mid-range footsie game. That's really what the whole game was about. There wasn't distance, so that was the game. And he was very good at that, and I think you can really see that. He also is great at the technical side of the game. Not that he plays characters that require terribly high execution. Evil Ryu's about as tough as it gets for him, but he has an understanding of the sort of underlying aspects of the game.
Like the system mechanics.
System mechanics, exactly. So an example is what we now refer to as the Momochi tech.
It's named after him, right?
Right, which he just called something like throw tech, block, option select, invincible move. Okay, so you're sort of covering all of these options at once. And in fact, that's part of what he used to win at Capcom Cup. And I remember after that talking with some of the players, and they said, wow, he did some things that I haven't really seen before.
Right. Well, the interesting thing is he actually revealed that tech right before Capcom Cup.
It was public.
It was right before
on his YouTube channel.
Exactly. He did a tutorial this is how you use this tech, which is just it covers so many options. So you're basically baiting a wake up from the opponent. You can block it and then try to throw tech. If they wake up, throw, and then if they do something else, you'll uppercut them. Just kind of perfecting this timing. It's not easy to do, so it is a technical skill, but he was the first one really to noticeably use it because he obviously talked about it, and so now it's just known as Momochi tech.
There you go.
Yeah.
I also feel that he is very good at knowing when to take risks.
Yeah.
A lot of the time you'll see him playing this very patient, sort of reasonable style, but then there are these moments where he just throws in a wrench, and you don't know when they're coming, but he's willing to take big risks.
Yeah, it's one of those things I've always kind of said, like, the more logical you play, the more likely top players are going to blow you up. Because if you play as logical as possible, they're just going to destroy you, right?
You're predictable.
Yeah, exactly. If you always do what's logical, then you can always be countered by whatever counters that logical choice. And, you know, you kind of have to mix it up, and Momochi definitely, and we'll see this when we analyze the match, he has solid moments where he spends, like, I would say, like 75% to 80% of the time playing this really solid game, and then all of a sudden he'll either switch it up from this really careful footsie game to all of a sudden forward dash, or just wake up uppercut because this is the right time to throw it out there, you know, and those kind of things. That unpredictability, I feel like, is what makes him so scary to fight against. You get lulled into one style, and then he just changes up on you, like maybe for 20% of the match, 15% of the match, and that's just enough to throw off the opponents.
That's very difficult to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you mentioned the match. Mm-hmm. The match that we're going to watch is from EVO 2015.
Yeah.
Not too long ago now.
Yeah.
In grand finals.
Mm-hmm. And we should paint this picture properly here.
Yeah.
In fact, we're going to actually spend a little bit of time so we get to see some of the players, because it's really telling how much mental stress and mental pressure that this event was. Again, we mentioned 2,200 plus players in this tournament, and just a grind to get to the top 8, let alone winners finals that Momochi did. Now his opponent, one Gamerby, he made it into top 8 in losers bracket, and then just had rough match after rough match trying to get to grand finals. He finally made it there, so he's coming from losers bracket.
Right.
But the problem is, because of how hard he worked in all those matches, he's kind of turned himself into a weird crowd favorite at this point. So on top of Momochi trying to live up to what a lot of people are saying he's the best player right now he has to go against a little bit of this crowd favorite.
Yeah.
And sure enough, so he's coming from losers bracket, so Gamerby has to win 2 sets of 3 out of 5.
Right.
And he wins the first one.
He did it.
With an emphatic, like, kind of celebration. Like, Gamerby was like,
yes,
here we go. This is my time. So all the momentum is on his side. Now, Momochi, very known for using Ken.
Right.
That's the main character that he plays. And after he loses to Gamerby's Adon, he switches to Evil Ryu in the last set. So now he pulls this out. A lot of people weren't expecting this. Most people thought he would go with Ken the whole way. And now we're in this very pressure-filled situation for him. So
well, we'll check it out. You can definitely see on his face. It is super obvious exactly how much pressure he feels. You can really see it on his face there on the right. Momochi. You can see the pressure.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, and right here, this is where you can really see. He's like, let me think. He can't even figure out how to put his hands comfortably.
Well, but this is something that he's very good at, and that other top players are good at as well. He's figuring out how to adapt. He's going over in his mind how the match went, what were the problems, what he thinks he could do better, and he ends up switching to a different character, probably thinking, what Gamerby was doing, that's, maybe Ken is not the best option, not the best tool in my toolbox.
Yeah, one of the biggest differences between the characters, although Ken kind of has this really nice footsies game, especially with the step kick.
Yeah.
The biggest weakness that he has compared to Evil Ryu is just damage output.
Yeah, from that mid-range, he gets step kick, maybe counter hit into not much, but Evil Ryu gets crouching medium kick, fireball into 400 damage.
Right. And plus another thing is crouching medium kick, fireball doesn't even necessarily work with Ken because it's not a true block stun. So you can't poke around with it. You can't fish around with it like you can with Evil Ryu. And as soon as this match starts, you're going to notice that the number one thing that Momochi does is he hides at this range where he's outside of Adon's standing roundhouse, and then he sneaks in for low forward fireball, which is a true block string for Ryu, and if it hits, very easily hit confirmed into big damage combo. And that's really why he's, moving to Evil Ryu in this match, and just towards the end of the entire Capcom Pro Tour, he's really picked up a lot more Evil Ryu usage.
Pretty popular character.
Used by a lot of the top players.
Yeah, that's true, and for pretty good reason.
Yeah.
But I like that he makes that switch. He's often had a lot of characters up his sleeve Even in earlier, forms of SF4, he played Cody, he played Yun. This year we've seen him play Elena also. He played Guy recently. That's something he does.
Yep. But here we go. So now you see immediately establishing low forward fireball and establishing that range, that distance. And so much about Street Fighter is about range and distance. So he's going to stand right outside of Adon's standing roundhouse range. Oh.
Yeah, that was perfectly placed. You'll notice that he gets pushed backwards sometimes, but what is important about it is that he understands what that range is, and he wants to move backwards out of it and then stab in all of a sudden. That's a huge part of this gameplay for him.
Yeah, and you can tell that the way he's playing that neutral also is an anticipation of things that Gamer B is going to try. You saw a neutral jump there. He's anticipating a Jaguar kick, which will work for him later on. And execution error from Gamer B, but then an execution error from Momochi. And it just shows that both players are so nervous right now.
Well, we could see their faces earlier.
Yeah. And that's another thing, too, is that you see him throw out stand jabs, stand short, stand forward, stand strongs. He's really trying to kind of put up a roadblock in front of the Jaguar kick.
Yeah, a lot of people play Evil Ryu as a one-button character with crouching medium kick. But he does have a couple other important buttons, and the top-level players like Momochi use that.
Little bit of a trick there from Gamer B, but nicely sniffed out by Momochi.
But I like that Momochi dashed forward there. You can see him really walking forward. You see what? Yes!
Oh, there it is, and there we go. Hit confirm time. And you see the damage output. I mean, it started with some light attacks, so it's not going to do a great amount of damage.
That's so gutsy at the end there. All of this mid-range play, buttons, spacing. First time he had walked up like that and gotten that grab. That's very hard to see coming if you're Adon. Yeah, especially after a Jaguar kick. That's kind of that risk-reward thing that you were mentioning earlier. Just really good at going for it when he needs it. Yeah.
As you can see here, Gamer B now. Oh, yeah. He noticed that was a failed safe jump timing, so he has the wake-up uppercut ready for him. But again, now back to this range, throwing out those buttons. And, you got to throw out those fireballs. You got to throw out a risky uppercut sometimes. And
that would have worked. Well, not that one.
So, yeah, I mean, he did it, got his uppercut block. He tried again, and it worked. I mean, yeah, most people probably wouldn't have tried 2 uppercuts in a row like that, but yeah, sure enough, Momochi was willing to try it. Got hit by Gamer B's own wake up uppercut.
Right.
Though.
Well, Gamer B, he plays the set very well too. It's not a one-sided set at all.
Yeah. Oh, see, look at that.
Second time he's done that though.
Yeah, but tip of the low forward range, perfect distancing, and still able to combo into the fireball and hit confirm off of it.
You can see he's really trying to bait Gamer B into doing something unfortunate for him. EX, kick, and whatever else,
Right. But you saw right there how, he's waiting for the Jaguar kick in the air, and then all of a sudden he doesn't do it, and he still has the reaction to meet him with the low forward when he lands. Okay,
and you can see that he plays a little bit differently when he has the life lead too. We haven't seen. Oh God, I was just gonna say we haven't seen it, but that's the perfect moment. Like here, Gamer, you might have thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Here's me just about to say, you can see he has the life lead. He's playing cautiously and defensively. All of a sudden, here's Momochi.
Forward dash out of nowhere gets him that last combo. There's that damage from Evil Ryu. See, Ken would not have been able to accomplish that same kind of damage. But like you said, just throwing out the forward dash all of a sudden out of nowhere at the moment in which Adon and probably everybody watching was lulled into this moment like, okay, he's just chilling.
Exactly.
He's just chilling. We'll see that a couple of more times. He has a few more pretty epic forward dashes at some point. Oh, man. Finally throwing that low roundhouse out there. Not as safe of a move, but better range than low forward. So you see him throwing it out at a good time to catch Gamer B as he's focusing on the low forward. Ooh, good punish there from Gamer B, though. Gets the full damage. And so that risk might not have paid off well for Momochi, but you know what? I don't think he cared because he had so much life. And see, now they're just tied. So willing to throw that out even though he could get damaged that badly. And again, Evil Ryu never out of any match, but good stuff to Gamer B there.
Yeah, you could see it. That big Dragon Punch that Momochi whiffed on was not a reversal, which may be a sign that it might have been Momochi tech. Which is sort of how that tech works.
And the way to counter that is literally just to block. But so few people actually block these days. Oh, nice. Yeah, and see, now he has Gamer B in the corner. And see, he's challenging the Jaguar kicks.
Yes.
He's just not letting Gamer B get in. That's what Adon wants, is he wants the air Jaguar kick so he can get in and put the opponent in a mix-up situation like this, right?
Yeah, Adon has a good matchup against the Shotos like this, like Evil Ryu, for example. You can see how his roundhouse works. You can see how Jaguar kick works. EX, especially, will go through fireballs. There's just a lot of stuff that this character can do, Ultra 1. So it's, even though, it's the pick that Momochi goes with, it's not a super easy matchup.
Yeah, Gamer B now sitting on full resources, and you see Momochi just trying to find a way to land that low forward. Just dancing. Oh, and there's that stand jab. Like I mentioned, he's
so good.
Always challenging, always throwing those buttons out. There's another great challenge on that stand forward.
Oh, he wanted it. You see, he walked up with towards strong, the overhead. To walk up from about third screen, even though he loses that round, to walk up from a third screen like that and go for the overhead, that is a sign of willingness to take risk.
Guts. That is a sign of guts, yep. Because, most of the time you see overheads come up like after jump attacks or on wake up, where you have where you have some sort of frame advantage. But nope, Momochi's just going to try to walk up and hit you with an overhead. But here we go again. See, there it is. He's in that corner, but that neutral jump, as I mentioned before, he's always doing stuff in anticipation of what Gamer B wants to do.
Yeah, you'll see how many times he jumps toward, which is almost none, if not none. But yeah, neutral jumping, okay. Jumping backwards, different story.
Yeah, you don't want to jump backwards too much. You lose a lot of ground. But another thing, too, is that, the neutral jump works really well against the Jaguar kick. It's a great tool, but you notice how rarely he uses it. He only does it once in a while when he feels like...
Ooh, the dash toward again.
Yeah. And he also challenged the Jaguar kick with that low strong... Oh, look, here's that damage! Yeah, see, this is...
Spent a lot of bar on it, but I love it.
He's going to take the round off of that.
Yeah, of course you have to do it.
Yeah, but a perfect example right there of where Evil Ryu's advantages over Ken lie. Because Ken in that situation would not have won off of that low forward fireball. But yeah, he's always willing to challenge stuff. So you saw him, try to stop Jaguar kicks. He got hit anyway, but he's just not worried about it because he just needs to keep Gamer B... Oh, beautiful stand strong.
Yeah.
But he's got to keep Gamer B cautious. That's the main thing.
And he's really good at it, for sure. This is a great round from Gamer B. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, Gamer B's not going to get second place get to grand finals by accident. So
exactly.
Very strong player himself.
Right. But watching Momochi play against a player as strong as Gamer B, and still doing well, and still finding these ranges, and still finding these timings to come in all of a sudden. If he can do it against Gamer B, he does it against everybody.
Exactly. That's what makes it even more impressive, this victory here. Because like I said, Gamer B coming from loser's bracket, you saw right there that stand jab, stand short whiff. That was jab into Hurricane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's the overhead. Okay.
Ooh. Wow, that was a nice backwards jump, but a little too late.
So that time he got the dash toward and saw the block. I love the reaction. Rather than it was a counter hit, it was blocked, so time for grab. Even though he puts himself into those situations like that, a lot of people would just react. They would have a plan in advance and just carry it out. But he has a plan that has multiple options.
Right.
And he reacts to the situation.
Okay, there we go. So that didn't pay off the exact way that he was hoping it would be. So he did hop kick into uppercut. So he's putting, just like how Gamer B wants to do air Jaguar kick and put Momochi into that guessing position. That's kind of what Evil Ryu can do with his own hop kick. He goes for uppercut, then backdashes just to be safe, and Gamer B bites on that, and he punishes him. But that kind of risk right there, that hop kick into uppercut, you're going to see that a couple more times in this match.
Right.
And it's just one of those situations that you're willing to put the opponent in, and oh, God, I love it that he hit low jab. Again, to challenge that air Jaguar kick, just in case it was too high, and it was, and he beat it.
Right, yeah, if the Jaguar kick had touched him, he would have been blocking, so nothing would have come out. He would have been fine.
Exactly.
That's one of the understandings of how the system works, I think. One of the signs of that.
Yeah, and just being aware, always just aware of what to do at every given moment. Look at and see. Here's this great pressure from Gamer B, and no fear from Momochi.
Right. Oh man, he's still going in like that. We saw him going with a dive kick before, and it did work.
Right.
But I love that he's willing to do it, and I love two things there. Walk up grab, even though it whiffed. Cool to do that. Then he had to dash under Adon's pressure, which shows that you know the matchup.
Yep. There it is. And see, this time it pays off. Hop kick, uppercut. And that's going to be enough to kill. And so Momochi here, like I said, lost the first set. Sitting here, he's at tournament point.
That's right, Evo point.
Yeah, he's at Evo point. So he's basically on the verge of winning. And this is actually where you're going to see a lot about Momochi and understand what kind of player he is.
Right.
But let's watch this.
Okay, yeah, we'll see what happens. For now, he's trying to keep a range outside of what Adon's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He has a life lead.
And here we go, big damage. Drops the combo, but not too much damage in retaliation. Right. So he's not worried about it. And here we go. Big damage for him. Evo point. He's got Gamer B on the ropes. And at this point in time, just about everybody was like, it's the inevitable is coming.
Yeah, we thought it was over, but oh man, here comes Bruce.
Yep, gets the red focus combo. And then he still needs a last hit to kill him. But the crazy part about this last hit, it's kind of a janky last hit.
Yeah, that's not exactly what Gamer B thought was going to happen. Okay, he did get the hit, and good job to him. But yeah, you could see, I think his reaction showed it too. Like, wow, that was some relief.
But now, here's the situation. Momochi, Evo point, basically had that round one and lost on a big combo, on a big read from Gamer B, and then a kind of a scrappy hit.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people would crumble in this situation.
I think you're right.
A lot of players would just kind of be like, that was my chance. If only I had, if only I had, if only I had. And he's still playing his game right now. He's still playing you haven't seen any change in the way he's playing. So despite a situation that may cause lesser men to crumble, he is still holding very strong.
Yeah, he still has almost the same gameplay. All those fundamentals are still there. He's still not giving in to jumping toward or anything. He's just finding those places. He's still dashing in occasionally for little stabs here and there. It's very much the same.
Ooh, but
yeah, and he did let that go.
Yeah, he did miss that one, and that's going to come back to bite him right now.
There you go. So he was at tournament point. You see the reaction on the right there.
He's like, really? Do I have to play another one?
Yeah. Yeah. He's at tournament point. Huge life lead. Loses 2 straight rounds.
And first one to a crazy comeback, and like I said, a scrappy last hit. And then he's probably thinking to himself, why didn't I FADC that fireball?
Right.
You know, he missed that opportunity.
Right.
So
could have been the tournament.
These few small things right there all adding up. So, like I said, I can't even imagine like myself being in this position. Like I would be done. Like I would be mentally defeated.
Well, he's been playing for a long time. I mean, I've been hearing his name for a decade, something like that. Certainly it's been since the mid-zeros as being a top-level player in multiple games. So he has that experience. He's been in big moments before. He had won Capcom Cup 6 months before this. So he has been in big moments. And what I love that game for, great job to Gamer B, but I love Momochi's response to it.
Yeah.
Because that can happen to everybody. Even the best lose games. And it's the big thing is, how do you respond to it?
Yeah, and you can see no change in his game. There's something about in-game body language. You can read so much from in-game body language. Oh, look at that. He just knew that he was going to land on the fireball.
Yeah, and he had an option select as a meaty. Good stuff.
Yeah. Has everything still in there. He's not breaking. He's staying focused. Yeah, and look at this. He's got a great life lead. This is a great way to respond to the way that the last game ended.
Right. Yep, finds it this time. Gets the combo. Oof. Oh.
Yeah, great.
Wake up stand tech. Interesting.
But now...
Maybe looking for Momochi tech from Momochi there.
Yeah, but now for all the people who have watched EVO, we know what happens here.
It gets a little bit tough to watch.
Yeah, this is a very unfortunate situation. Can happen at any point, and boom.
Oh, God. The pause. EVO Grand Finals, the last game, potentially the last round. There's Gamer B's response, right? That's what everybody was thinking. You can see the people in the background, their hands on their faces.
Yep.
Everybody was thinking this. How could this happen?
Yeah.
What a crazy situation to come up. Never thought I would see this. And so even for somebody like Momochi, who has been in so many situations before, it's hard to find an analog for this kind of thing. Something so bizarre.
He's never been in this situation.
No. Yeah. Who has?
Yeah. And now here's the thing, right? So the rule comes down to this. Whoever paused, and you can see on the screen it said one player pause. It was because of a joystick malfunction.
Yes.
Right? So what happens now is that whoever causes the pause has to forfeit the round.
Right.
So Momochi's up 1 round. He has 2 rounds to be able to take it. And you can see right now, all they do is just hit him twice, give him the life lead. They're going to let the timer run out, so that way Adon builds as little meter as possible.
Right.
To make it as fair as possible. But now, in this situation, you're Momochi, you have 2 rounds. I can't even tell you how much more comfortable knowing you have 2 rounds versus 1 round feels.
Yeah.
Like, it's silly because
someone
always has to win the first round and get 2 rounds. But Momochi was probably feeling like, I've got 2 rounds to do this.
Yeah.
And now he has to literally throw away 1 round on a problem that wasn't even your fault.
Well, you know, the reason that rule exists is because it is up to the player to make sure that the hardware works. You know, that can't be the tournament's responsibility. It can't be his opponent's responsibility.
Right.
It has to be the player's responsibility. So, you know, I get the rule. It's just that it wasn't gameplay. You know, he didn't lose that round because of gameplay.
Right, exactly. So actually, we're going to jump ahead a little bit now. There's going to be like another 3 minutes of hand-wringing and just like blood, sweat, and tears here.
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot of tense moments.
Yeah.
And you can see in a lot of those moments on Momochi's face, on GamerBee's face, how they're feeling about it and how intense this last round is going to be because it's 1 round to decide Evo.
Yeah.
That's it. And so the question is, with this utterly absurd situation, how do you respond to it?
Right.
Which one responds to it better?
And you'll see right away, they both come out aggressive. And in this kind of a situation, look at this, wake up uppercut.
Yeah.
He just goes for it. And a lot of people would play very tentative, very defensive at this moment. Like I said, that in-game body language. But you sense none of that. Momochi playing still as strong as ever. And still sticking to his game plan.
Yeah, very similar. Again, no jumping toward, finding the moments to dash in like that, keeping GamerBee at a certain range where he can react or occasionally walk in.
He just threw 4 fireballs in a row. Like, there's just no fear from him.
Right. Even though Adon Ultra 1 punishes that, even though EX Jaguar kick.
Oof. Yeah, and look at this. Life lead now. So he can feel it at this moment.
Oh, again. All right, there you go. So what seals it for him? It was that little,
shimmy.
Yeah, the little shimmy, the sort of strange timing to bring in like that. And, you see his response.
Yeah.
Neither player wants to win or lose like that. It's just not ideal.
Yeah, and Momochi, look, I mean, a great sport here. You can see him. He knows not to over-celebrate because it's a rough situation because of that pause and all that stuff like that. But regardless, a very happy man, and he's going to take Evo. You can see the little fist pump there. You know he wants to go all out with it. I don't even know, because Momochi is not necessarily that guy.
Yeah, he's not going to be doing a barrel roll on stage. But yeah, it is a tough moment for both people. But he's the one who responded to it better.
Absolutely.
And as absurd as that situation is, it almost makes sense to me that the person who responds, of these 2,200 plus people, which one responds to this just ridiculous situation better? That's the person who wins.
Yep. And
I feel like that's almost poetic. Like I wish it hadn't happened, but it almost makes sense. Yeah.
But I mean, so for the people who did watch Evo, they do understand. They probably remember how emotional I got afterwards. And a lot of people were probably like, "Oh, because I really wanted GamerBee to win, so I was sad to see him." And it's not even just that. I mean, to me, the thing that I love the most about the fighting game community is watching these players and how much effort and how much heart they put into these matches and everything. So when you see Momochi, we painted the picture. He made it in there through winners, but then he had to go through GamerBee, who at this point, like, the crowd was kind of cheering for, and then he had to go through the reset, a character change, losing that round on the pause after dropping tournament point 2 rounds in a row, all these things like that. And the amount of mental fortitude that Momochi displayed there is ridiculous. And it's that kind of thing that gets me emotional about Street Fighter. You know, it's seeing that passion, that drive, and just the skill, because like I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? And when you see someone else do it and you see someone else succeed and pull it off, it's just it does something to me. It just does. It does. So yeah.
I don't have anything negative to say about that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Capcom Cup 2015, what do you think about Momochi there? What do you think is an obstacle for him in, you know, what sort of stands between him and taking Capcom Cup? Like,
what would be the one thing that might keep him from winning?
Yeah, what might trip him up?
I mean, the only thing that I can kind of see, so after EVO, he played in a few more tournaments. So he, even right before EVO, he got 17th at CEO.
Yeah.
And he just got 13th at SCR, at Southern California Regionals. Afterwards, he's been playing a little more Evil Ryu, and I don't know, personally, I don't know if his Evil Ryu is as polished as his Ken.
Okay.
So Ken, obviously, he's gone through wars with that character. He knows every situation. It probably just knows him like the back of his hand. Evil Ryu is one of those probably like, oh, he's a top-tier character. He's a good choice to have. I got to learn this character if I really want to take this seriously, right? Now, there's always that kind of thing. I'm a character loyalist.
I know.
Right? So, you know, I play better with character loyalty than I do with just going with a stronger character.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, you know, maybe that might affect him if he tries Evil Ryu a bunch there. Maybe it might come back to haunt him a little. Don't get me wrong, Evil Ryu is a great character to pick. There's no blame, no question why he's doing it.
Yeah.
But that might be the only thing I can think of that might, you know, get in his way a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. What about you? What do you think?
I tried to think about this, and I came up with nothing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what would stop him. I mean, it's going to take somebody playing very, very well. Mm-hmm. That's really what it's going to come down to. Somebody just has to play ridiculously well. Mm-hmm. You know, you did mention there have been a couple of tournaments lately, CEO, SCR, where he hasn't been
the best.
Yeah, right. But if you look at who he lost to very good players.
Yeah,
he just ran into them before top 8, right? So, you know, that's really about it. But as far as what he can do himself, I don't really see any negatives in his play. I don't know what constructive advice to give Momochi. Yeah, it's absurd.
I honestly don't think there's anything that needs to. I mean, just if he wants to win Capcom Cup, he's just got to keep doing what he's already been doing. You know, I mean, look, Capcom Cup, 32 players.
Yes.
All world-class players. Yep. All just amazing players. There's not one person in this tournament that I would pick over the field. You know what I mean? So, like, I wouldn't bet. Like, if you said any name versus the field, I would pick the field. Okay. Because that's how tough it is, right? But if you told me I have to pick one person to win this tournament, who would it be? I would pick Momochi.
Yeah, I think I might agree with you on that. Yeah. You know, I think that so I sort of feel the opposite as you do when it comes to his picking different characters. I feel like that is an advantage that he has because he can play them very well. Sometimes that might get in his head a little bit. He did play Guy at SoCal Regionals, and it did not work.
Right.
It did not work. I don't know if he's going to polish that character or what, but we've also seen Elena from him, and it was, you know, I mean, I feel like it's very important in Street Fighter 4 now to be able to have counter characters.
Yeah.
Even in matchups that are not awful, like Ken versus Adon is not a terrible matchup, but is Evil Ryu a little bit better? Yeah. And so, you know, give yourself the best chance. I feel like that's what he's doing.
Yeah, and like I said, that if that's the only weakness I can come up with is that your Evil Ryu won you Evo, but you know he might not be as good as your Ken. You know that's such that is not a bad weakness to have. Let's put it that way.
One of the favorites at Capcom Cup for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you expect from him? Top 3, top 2?
I think he's one of the top favorites. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I cannot argue with that.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you force me to pick one player, it's Momochi.
There you go.
So.
I think I agree with that.
All right. So,
all right. Well, thanks for watching. It's going to be a whole series. If you like this kind of stuff, where we analyze videos and talk about players and so forth, it's something that we do on our own channel, which is youtube.com/UltraChenTV, and the live version is twitch.tv/UltraChenTV.
Yeah, we do a lot of things where we'll analyze matches, but we also have a lot of videos on there for like beginners and stuff, and how to learn Street Fighter, how to think like a Street Fighter player and such. So
also sort of weekly news, issues, discussions, me playing Third Strike, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And also don't forget to follow on Twitch Capcom Fighters as well. On YouTube it's Capcom Fighters TV. Again, this is going to take place at the Sony Experience in San Francisco, which will be on December 6th through 7th. And if you're in the area, you got to go, because this is going to be amazing. But if you can't make it, follow them on Twitch at Capcom Fighters. So as soon as it comes up, you'll get word. And you don't want to miss this one. So.
I believe it's December 5th through 6th.
Oh, did I say 6th, 7th?
Indeed.
Oh, 5th through 6th.
There you go.
Yeah,
all right. Well, we'll see you at the event, or alternatively, you'll see us on the stream.
All right. Thanks, guys.